Eye pokes. John Jones has faced a lot of criticism during his career for poking his opponents in the eyes during fights. This became a recurring issue that many fans and fighters found unfair. Jones often fights with an extended reach, and some say this leads to accidental eye pokes when he tries to control the distance. However, others argue that Jones does it on purpose to gain an advantage. In April 2014, Jones made the situation worse when he posted a video on Instagram mocking fans who called him a dirty fighter.
Jones put his finger in his eye, dirtiest fighter in MMA.
In the video, Jones pretended to cry while sarcastically saying things like, "Oh no, Jones poked him in the eye, he's the dirtiest fighter in MMA." Many fans and fighters didn't find it funny. After receiving backlash, Jones deleted the video from his account. UFC President Dana White spoke about the controversy, acknowledging that eye pokes are a problem. He explained that fighters with longer reaches like Jones often fight with open hands to block punches or keep their opponents at bay, which can lead to accidental pokes. White also mentioned that Jones seemed to adjust during his fight with Glover Teixeira after being warned about eye pokes. Despite this, critics continued to call Jones out for the issue, saying he should be held accountable. Jones later addressed the situation, admitting that he unintentionally pokes opponents. He said, "I know it happens, and I know people criticize me for it. It's not something I do on purpose, it's just how I fight to keep distance." He argued that it's unfair to label him as a dirty fighter because the pokes were accidental. In 2017, new rules were introduced in MMA to stop fighters from extending their fingers towards an opponent's eyes, a move aimed at preventing incidents like Jones's controversial pokes. Altercation with Daniel Cormier. Another famous incident in Jones's career happened on August 4th, 2014, during a promotional event for UFC 178. Jones and his rival Daniel Cormier were doing a stare down on stage when things escalated. Jones leaned forward, pressing his forehead against Cormier's. Cormier reacted by shoving Jones by the throat, and Jones immediately threw a punch. Chaos broke out as both fighters were pulled apart by their teams and event organizers. After the incident, the UFC's legal officer Kirk Hendricks said there would be consequences for the scuffle. The Nevada State Athletic Commission, NSAC, reviewed the altercation and fined Jones $50,000. He was also required to complete 40 hours of community service. During the disciplinary hearing, Jones admitted he exaggerated some things, like claiming he lost a big endorsement deal with Nike because of the incident. This turned out to be false. Hit and run conviction. On April 27, 2015, John Jones was involved in a serious hit-and-run accident in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Police said Jones ran a red light, causing his rental car to crash into two other vehicles. One of the drivers, a pregnant woman, was injured in the accident. Witnesses reported seeing Jones flee the scene on foot. Strangely, he returned briefly to grab a handful of cash from his car before running away again. The situation became more complicated when police found paperwork in the car that identified Jones as the renter. Inside the car, they also found a marijuana pipe with traces of the drug inside. Initially, Jones was wanted for questioning, but the charges were upgraded to a felony because of the injuries caused by the crash and the fact that he left the scene. Jones eventually turned himself into the police and was released on a $2,500 bail. The UFC took swift action, stripping Jones of his title and suspending him indefinitely for violating their athlete code of conduct policy. Jones later apologized to his fans, saying on Twitter, "I've got a lot of soul searching to do. Sorry to everyone I've let down." In September 2015, Jones pleaded guilty to leaving the scene of the accident. He was sentenced to supervised probation for 18 months. As part of the agreement, he had to complete 72 charity appearances and meet other conditions to avoid a felony charge on his record. In a later interview, Jones admitted he panicked and ran from the scene instead of checking on the injured woman. Domestic violence arrest. On September 24th, 2021, just one day after being inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, Jones was arrested in Las Vegas for domestic violence. According to reports, the incident occurred at the Caesars Palace Hotel. Jones's youngest daughter called for help, claiming her parents were in a fight. When police arrived, they found Jones's fiancée, Jessie Moses, with blood on her face and clothes and a swollen lip. Moses said Jones had been out drinking and became aggressive when he returned. She claimed he pulled her hair, but denied he hit her. Jones, meanwhile, was reportedly agitated and headbutted the hood of a police car, leaving a dent. He was arrested and charged with domestic battery and tampering with a police vehicle. Jones posted bail and later shared on Instagram that he was quitting alcohol, saying, "I have way too much trauma to consume alcohol." A few weeks later, his longtime coach, Mike Winklejohn, banned him from the Jackson Wink MMA gym. By December, the domestic battery charge was dropped and Jones was ordered to attend anger management therapy and pay restitution for damaging the police car. Other legal troubles. Jones has had several run-ins with the law outside of fighting. In 2012, he crashed his Bentley into a pole while driving under the influence. He pleaded guilty to DUI charges, paid a fine, and had his license suspended. In 2019, Jones was accused of assaulting a waitress at a strip club in Albuquerque. She claimed Jones slapped her, put her in a chokehold, and kissed her against her will. Jones pleaded no contest and received a deferred sentence. In 2020, Jones was arrested again for DWI after being found intoxicated in his car. Police discovered a firearm and an open bottle of alcohol in the vehicle. He accepted a plea deal, receiving house arrest and probation. Failed drug tests. Jones has also faced controversy for failing multiple drug tests during his career. In 2015, he tested positive for cocaine metabolites before UFC 182. Although the substance wasn't banned out of competition, the incident damaged his reputation. In 2016, Jones was flagged for clomiphene and letrozole, substances often linked to performance enhancement. He claimed it was due to contaminated supplements and received a 1-year suspension. In 2017, he tested positive for turinabol, an anabolic steroid, after his fight at UFC 214. The fight result was overturned, and Jones was stripped of his title again.